That's what Christians do. Like they take stuff so much further than what it is. Like it ain't that complicated. It ain't like that. That's you. That's what you wanted to see, and now you're twisting and distorting what's going on just so you can prove a point or like make yourself feel better, just so you can judge, right? And that's what people do. So like God is the judge, you're not, and I'm not, and every person's responsible to God. And a person who invests in stock, they're responsible to God, not you, not me, when it comes to their investments. So what they have going on with their business and what they do with their money, that's on God and them, and it's none of our business. Like you can judge a questionable investment, sure, fine, but like at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is only God is the judge. You're not, and I'm not. No matter how much you want to argue it, no matter how much you want to be to make yourself feel better, like only God can judge what somebody does with their money. Who are you to judge the intricacies, the complexities, the things that a stock has going on when it comes to people's views, who they support, what religion they are? Like who, what? Oh, hey everybody, I ain't see you there. Welcome back, uplifters. Whether you're an uplifter from Uplift Beyond 9 to 5, Sean Christopher Jenkins, or you're an uplifter from Uplift Past Crossroads, welcome to my YouTube channels. I'm here to give you guys another killer video. All right, so for today's video, we're going to be answering we're still answering Peter's question that he asked me on my video, biggest mistakes stock investors make, part 2. As you guys can see, I'm at 434 views on that video, so thank you for y'all support and watching that video. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, and if you got any questions, you guys can ask a question as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and read the question that he asked, and I'm gonna read it from here. It actually looks better when I read it from YouTube. Okay, so Peter, he commented this on that video. He said, "Love the passion on investing you have, and weaving a bit of religion into the video on investing. But you also made a statement paraphrasing that you didn't care about how a company made money as long as you can invest into it and make money as well. Isn't that a touch suspect for people trying to follow Jesus's example? I mean, I don't think the disciples would have invested money into a company making money from the Romans because they wanted to do good on profits. Anyway, just food for thought. I'm not making any judgment calls. It's just a subject I'm dealing with on my own walk. 1 John 2:15 really should make everyone examine themselves and make their own in their own motivations, even in the investing world. One strategy I use with investing is selling options on a company I like and want to buy. Selling a cash secure put option on that company gets you paid while you wait on your price you like to buy. It's just what has worked for me. I just do not want to buy a stock at market prices. I like a discount / sales price to buy a great company. Options get you paid to wait on your price anyway. All the best to you. God bless you. And God bless you again, Peter. This is my 4th video answering this question. This question really was an amazing question, and I just had to do videos on it. All right, but go ahead and click the like button to this video, guys, because you guys are going to like it. And that really helps me, helps the algorithm, helps what I'm trying to do on social media. If you don't hit the like button, you're doing me a disservice. And then also, you guys can ask me any questions you like as well. All right, so let's hit on Peter's question, and I'm going to hit on it from a religious standpoint, like he said that he liked me doing. So that's the focus for today's video. First thing I want to say is, I love how Peter said that, he ain't trying to make judgment calls. He knows that he got his own walk to do with God. Like I love how Peter said that, and that's what I want to say to you guys and relate to you guys. It's really funny how a person, and Peter didn't do it really, and he even said like he can't judge. So I like where Peter was coming from, but it's crazy how Christians think that they can judge other people, and they try to judge other people based on any and everything. So like, for example, a baby Christian, when you're first saved, it's really hard not to judge people because you're only looking at people to judge them in a way. And that's crazy how a lot of Christians do that. But I would argue most Christians do, especially baby Christians, like people that, and then people who are faking religion. Like they make all their life's mission and goal and aim is to judge other people, to be critical about other people, to always nitpick and see one flaw in another person. And what's funny is if you look for something, you'll find it. if you look hard enough for something, you're gonna find your answer. You're gonna find what you're looking for. That's a proverb in the Bible. So you're gonna find whatever you're trying to seek. And so, as a believer, like that's an awful way to live. Like when you're just always looking for something so that you can belittle, demean, judge, and be critical, and just, it makes somebody feel bad. Like, and that's how some people just live like that, right? And I like how Peter, you could tell he's not like one of those type of people. So, yeah, we got our own walk. And so it's funny, like we're talking about investments, like we're talking about stocks. So, it's crazy if somebody that they could judge me based on the stocks that I'm invested in, right? So here goes some of the stocks I'm invested in. I have no shame in my game. I can show you guys my portfolio. So this was on Thursday, July 2nd, 2026. You guys saw that I'm back at $100,000 in my portfolio. So in saying that, it's crazy how anybody from I want to say, like, just from a human standpoint, like somebody would judge me for investing in Elf Beauty, or let's just say there's two weed companies I'm invested in. Well, I want to be invested in. I'm not investing in it right now, but somebody would judge me for investing in that, or somebody would judge me for investing in Elon Musk's company, SpaceX and Tesla, which I'm going to be a shareholder of both. Just it has to be at the right price for me, like Peter said, which I'm gonna do another video on. But it's real easy to judge somebody on any and everything. That's what I'm trying to say, right? And you guys understand that. I mean, and it's inevitable. Like we just think sometimes judging people makes us feel good. Sometimes judging people makes us not hate our lives as much, and that's why people do it. And it's sad. Like it makes you feel like you have a leg up on somebody, and you're elevating and puffing up yourself. And that's what some people live for, right? Judging other people, right? And so I want to tell you guys, just to reassure you, God is the judge, not you or me. So it's crazy how anybody could think like, I'm gonna judge you based on what stocks you're invested in. It's a stock. It's a stock. There's a certain way you invest in stocks. And I've been telling you guys, stocks is about taking your emotions. To be a successful stock picker, you got to have the right temperament. I think that's the word I'm looking for. The right temperament. And when I saying that, I'm saying this: like you can't look at stocks and be like, well, you can't look at investments and just have so much feeling in it. Like, for example, with Elon Musk, like he's a perfect example. Like you may not agree with his political views. You may not agree with him siding with Trump and being on Trump's side and representing and endorsing Trump and the Republican Party and stuff. You may not agree with that. And then when has he ever supported black people? You know what I'm saying? Like, so, because let's just go there. I'm black, right? So like, but who cares? Like, if I can make money from Tesla stock because it went to $80, let's go to Tesla stock real quick. Okay, I wanna paint this picture. I want you guys to see this, like the stupidity that some human beings have when it comes to just stuff like life. It's Christians too. Like this is a Christian channel, so let's go here. All right, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I want to really hone this message in. All right, so we have Tesla stock, right? And the highest this stock has ever been is $481 on December 19th, 2025. Okay, so this is perfect. All right. So if Tesla stock go to $80, let's see the last time Tesla stock was at $80. Last time Tesla stock was at $80 was around June 26, 2020. That's the last time Tesla stock was at $80. And and to be honest, it may drop that low again. And I hope it do. And if it does, you best to believe I will sell any and everything I have and put my money in Tesla, because I know that ain't the price that Tesla should be at. And this is how you gotta look at stocks. Like like Peter said, there's a time to be in a stock. There's a time to be out of a stock. Just like the book of Ecclesiastes says, there's a time for any and everything. There's a time for war. There's a time for peace. There's a time for happiness. There's a time for sadness. There's a time for in a place for any and everything in this life. So in saying that, when it comes to stocks, like you have to master how a stock price moves. Like Warren Buffett said, you have to know what you're invested in. If you don't know what you're invested in, you shouldn't be invested in it. That's how you lose money. So when you're looking at stocks, you have to study them, like know how they operate, know how they move, like know what the highest are, not just know the highs and the lows, but just know like how it moves with the market. Like if there was a war, how what where would the stock price be if there's a war, right? Because that's always a potential. If there's a power outage, you know, or I mean that's so little. Like it's just something goes on in the economy, like for a company, if they go through hell with a company, like the earnings aren't great, or the CEO, like Elon Musk, like they do something controversial, like stuff like that's going to affect the stock, and I mean dramatically. But like if it's an event, if it's a negative event on top of negative event on top of negative event that's occurring, and the focus is on the company. Like Tesla's a good example. Like the reason why Tesla sort of has been at the $300 range and $400 range for the past, 2 years, really. Yeah, about 2 years. Yeah. The reason why it's been in that range is because, because of Elon. Like people don't know what to do with Tesla stock no more, and they don't want to invest in it no more because of Elon. So like, when I say, take your emotions and your feelings out of the stock game, and when I say that I don't care, what a CEO has going on or stuff like that, like that's true to some extent, but it's also not true to some extent because like when it comes to a stock, like if a CEO does controversial things, like for example, this is an awful example, but like let's say if a CEO is charged of something heinous. Like, I don't want to say it because I'm gonna just say it. I'm too honest. All right. So let's say a CEO is charged of like child pornography or like uh or something like that, or like rape or something like that. It could be any issue. If they're charged of something, then their stock will be negatively affected. So obviously that's not a stock you want to go with. So that's not a stock. And what the person did doesn't glorify God, right? But if it's just political views, like or like they support something controversial that somebody said, like Trump, because Trump always says something controversial. Like who cares about that? That's a bias. Like what I'm saying. So like you can invest in a stock. It does not matter. You see what I'm saying? So there's certain situations where you have to have discernment when it comes to should I invest in a stock or not, because all the T's and all the stars have to align when it comes to if you invest in a stock or if you don't. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people, like they don't think about stocks the way that they should. They don't have the right view or mindset when it comes to stocks, like and I would even say it like they throw God. I mean, I do it too. I mean, I believe God is in any and everything. I believe we got to apply God and glorify Him in any and everything that we do. So, in my view, just because you're invested in a stock, that doesn't mean that you support everything that the company does, or they buy into, or they support, or their view. It has nothing to do with that. Like at the end of the day, you're invested in, if a stock price is at a great price to buy, and the risk to reward is so great that if you invest at that price, it's more likely going to go up than it's going to go down. And then when it comes to risk reward, when you're looking for a stock, you want to make sure that you're invested in a stock at a price where if you get in at it, it's so low and beaten down, like the likelihood of it's going down even further is very slim. And if it does, you'll just buy even more. Your dollar cost average into it even more, because when it starts shooting up, the gap that it has to shoot up is so high. Like, it can go up a little and it's still not enough. Like, because, it has so much more room to grow. That's the kind of stocks that you want. Like Tesla, that's a good stock to be in, but not no $300, $400, because like you guys seen, that's the high. So as soon as it dips to 250, like 280, like $200, oh, look, the cheaper it gets, the more to invest in it. Because like the ceiling is $480, but it's way higher than that. Like when everything's working in his favor, like Elon's doing the right thing. He's being neutral. He's not giving his opinion. He's only doing stuff to promote the stock and focusing on Tesla or SpaceX. Like he has too many businesses, so like he's not focused on growing Tesla like that, because I feel like he's content with where it's at. But you see what I'm saying? Like, but that's how you invest in stocks. So that's what I'm saying. Like, who are you to judge, the intricacies, the complexities, the things that a stock has going on, right? When it comes to people's views, who they support, what religion they are, like who, what. And so, like, yeah, Peter said, like, he brought up the Romans, like, would the disciples even support anything that the Romans do? Yeah, because they had to. So, like, I don't want to go here because I'm gonna do it in another video, but I'm gonna just say it. Like, just think about it. Like, Judas was the treasurer. He was the one over the money when it came to the disciples. Now, we know that Judas was the one who sold Jesus for 30 shekels of 30 shekels or whatever it's called, denarii, whatever. So coins. So he sold Jesus for a profit because he can make money from it. So so there's some things that you can do that, yeah, it's questionable ways of making money, right? But just think about it. Like, I want you to imagine. I'm gonna do another video on it. I don't want to steal it for this video, but like Jesus charged Judas Iscariot of being over the money of the disciples. Just think about that. Do you think Judas invested in everything that was like, righteous and holy and glorifying God? Like, the answer is no. The disciples had to make money. Like, they had to make a living. They did not work. Like, not all of them worked. Jesus didn't work. He did, but then he didn't when his ministry started. So, like, he needed help and people to lean on and depend on. So, like, it's all speculation. Nobody knows for sure what the disciples did, how they made. Nobody knows for sure. Like, we can only go off what we see in the text. And honestly, the text is so much room that we can. It's not as obvious. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't say factually like every single detail. You see what I'm saying? Like, it leaves room for imagination, right? Because some stuff we're not going to know until eternity, I feel like, right? So, in saying that, like, yeah, with Judas, like I was saying, like, there's a way to make money, right? And some investments that you make, like, sure, it can be deemed as questionable, right? And obviously, Judas selling Jesus was a questionable investment. Like, why would you do that, right? So that's an awful example, right? But the whole point is like, yeah, I know for sure it wasn't just Judas. Like, Jesus had many disciples, not just the 12 disciples, right? He had many followers. So, I mean, you can be critical and say, yeah, he had 12 disciples only. Just that's the disciple. Okay, fine. But like, he had a lot of followers, and those disciples made disciples. So it was more, right? So, and some of them had money, and some of them invested their money. And I know, like Salome, there was women that Jesus depended on, like financially, to fund his ministry. So, like, the investments that they had, what they did with their money, like, I feel like anybody could judge that. But my whole point is only God can judge, not you or not me. You're not responsible for making that kind of judgment call. I mean, sure, with Judas selling Jesus, you can judge that. Like, you can judge a questionable investment. Sure, fine. But like, like, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is only God is the judge. You're not, and I'm not. No matter how much you want to argue it, no matter how much you want to be to make yourself feel better, like, only God can judge what somebody does with their money. And honestly, that's somebody's walk with God. Like Peter said, it's their walk with God, not yours. It's not your responsibility. Like, it's theirs. So God's gonna hold them accountable, not you. Matter of fact, you probably holding them accountable and getting into their business probably makes it okay. You're not helping the cause. Like, that's for God and their walk with God to figure out, right? And like I've been saying, just because when it comes to stocks, like, just because you're invested in a stock doesn't mean that you agree with everything that the company does. Like, and that's a bad way to invest. Like, just to invest your money in stocks that you like, for example, that are Christian, promote, that does Christian movies and gospel. That's a very limited way to invest. And that's a stupid way to invest, actually. Like, because there's so much stocks in the market. There's so much money to be made in the market. And it's all about timing. It's all about, you get what I'm saying? Like, why would you limit and restrict your money like that, when it's not going to grow what it could have grown like at a faster pace, at a better return, if you would have just been open minded and just invest in stuff that were just, you know, just was so great to get in at, but you restrict it to where, oh well, they don't ever praise God, they don't ever say Jesus when they're in interviews and stuff or conference calls, so I'm not investing in. Oh Lord, that's a bad way to invest your money, and we can't do that. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, the disciples deal with the Romans. Yeah, they did. Like the Romans, it's no different than American culture. You think the politicians and Democrats and Republicans glorify God? Really? Like America? Why do so much heinous acts and unlawful things and injustices happen in our nation? I'm pretty sure if they are really called by God, the politicians, you name it, the rulers of the American culture, the president, like, I'm certain if they are really God fearing people, like they could really implement laws and make this community a better place. And it's not like it's a place that exploits people. It's a place that hurts people. It's a place that categorizes people and puts some people below others and some people above others. And it makes laws to benefit others and not everybody. You see what I'm saying? So like this nation, you don't think the disciples had to invest in things that were like that? Like they literally work with the nation with taxes in a lot of ways. Like even Paul's a perfect example. He was a Jew and a Gentile. Like, well, he knew what it was like to be a Jew and a Gentile. He was a Pharisee. He was a disciple. Bro, he worked with all of them. That was his whole point. That's a good video. I'm gonna do another video just talking about how, Paul basically said in the Bible, like, do what the Romans do, be like the Romans. He didn't say it like that, but he said, like, to the weak I become weak, to the poor I become poor, to the prideful, he don't say I become prideful, but he says, like, no matter the situation, like he basically says I adjust myself to the atmosphere. So if he's in a room with all gothic people, like he's not gonna come in with a bright color looking flaming, like like he's coming from a gay parade. Like he's with a room with all gothic people, so he's gonna do what the gothics do. Like like he ain't gonna be a thorn in their side and cause them to stumble. He's gonna come with thumping a Bible thumper, thumping his Bible, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna adjust himself to the atmosphere. That's how you reach people for Christ. Salt and light of the world. Salt gets to know the substances that it comes into contact with. Salt, doesn't just come come into a situation and just take it over. It can with too much salt, but like, salt gets to know its substances like that it comes into contact with. It meshes itself with it. It gets to know it, and then it brings flavor, like in that kind of way. That's what we're called to do. We're the salt and light of the world. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so much to say with that, but like, yeah, God is the judge. You're not, and I'm not. And, every person's responsible to God. And a person who invested in stock, they're responsible to God, not you, not me, when it comes to their investments. So, what they have going on with their business and what they do with their money, like that's on God and them. And it's none of our business. And I like how Peter said, he basically said that, like he said, it's none of my business what you're investing in, and that's what he need everybody. Like I'm being honest, showing you guys and telling you guys what I'm invested in, what I believe in. And, and I like how Peter said, he doesn't know the intentions and the motives of my heart. They're dang right. Only God knows that. And that's what I'm be judged off of. What was my intention? What was my motive in investing in a stock? Now, if it's to support something that's ungodly and questionable, then I'm sure God will judge me for that. And I get ding points. You see what I'm saying? But like, if it's just me to make money, like, because I see a deal in the market, like, what? Like, and then I want to say that too. Peter said, like, he brought up the disciples working with the Romans and how, even if they could make a profit, like they probably wouldn't have done that. But like, this is the stock market. Like, it's not that what he said. So like, just because I'm invested in a stock doesn't mean I support, America, like, or what I'm saying, or Proud Boys or something like that. I don't. What? like that's going too far. And I'm not talking about Peter, but like that's what Christians do. Like they take stuff so much further than what it is. Like it ain't that complicated. It ain't like that. That's you. That's what you wanted to see, and now you're twisting and distorting what's going on just so you can prove a point or like make yourself feel better just so you can judge, right? And that's what people do. So like, nah, man, like, you know, when it comes to investments, man, the focus is to make money and making money only through stocks, like because I'm invested in stocks. So like it's a stock. You're just looking at what stocks to buy and what stocks to sell, what stocks to make money off of, and when you get good at it, there's just certain stocks that you rock with, right? Because you know it. So why wouldn't you invest your money in something you can make $60,000 off of, $1 million off of in 6 months? Like, why wouldn't you do that? I don't care what it is. Like, it's a stock. You're not married to it. You're not making a commitment to it. You're not supporting it. You're just making money from it. Now, will they make money from it? Yeah, from you investing it? Sure. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Maybe. But that's not a guarantee. That's not a for sure thing. You don't know that. Again, God's the judge. You're not. We don't know that. We can't say that without a fact. So just because I invest in a stock, yeah, I said it doesn't mean I support a CEO or a company. So that's a misconception. That's a lie. All right. So if you believe that just because somebody invests in a stock, yeah, they don't love God, like because they're invested in that stock. What? Like, so yeah, I'll leave it right there, man. Not everyone invests in the same stocks, and not everybody invests in the same stocks for the same exact reasons. And nobody can judge why somebody does anything but God, because sometimes we don't even know why we do stuff. So who are we to judge when we don't even know our own hearts, right? And I'll leave the video at that, man. So hope you guys enjoyed another video of me answering Peter's amazing question, man. Peter, you rock, man, for that question. You guys know what to do, man. I pray you guys do it, man. Click the like button if you like this video. If you want to see more videos like it, if you click the like button, YouTube, wherever you're watching this from, Facebook, it will recommend videos that I keep on posting, and you'll see it first. After you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Uplift Beyond 9 to 5, click the bell and select all so you're notified anytime I upload another video. And then Uplift Past Crossroads, that's where Peter asked the question from. Uplift Past Crossroads, that's my ministerial page. So you want to see all my sermons, Bible studies, me talking about everything, superheroes, sports, like you'll see it all. Like with me bringing the Bible into it, like Peter said I did with the stocks and talking about money. And then also we're on Facebook, Uplift Beyond 9 to 5. So if you prefer to watch us on there, you can. And I just want to say thank you guys for all your support again. You guys rock. If you watched the video all the way through, thank you so much, man. You're very much appreciated here. I wish everybody watched the videos all the way through, man. So hopefully, start getting paid for doing more. For doing videos like this, and then I could hit you guys with more videos and just make this my thing that I do. So that's what I really want to do. Make money from social media. I make money on Facebook right now, but I'm trying to make money on YouTube, everywhere, podcasts, you name it. And not just money. I'm talking like $2,000 a month, maybe more than that, preferably. So, but that's depending on you guys. If you guys click the like button, watch all my videos on social media, comment, engage, and then share. Each one, teach one. Share to other people this page if you're enjoying the content, right? So I'm gonna be talking about stocks a lot more, man. I hope praying you guys enjoyed this. All right, I'll talk to you guys later, and I pray you keep on uplifting beyond your current circumstances. Uplift past crossroads. Uplift beyond 9 to 5. Talk to you guys later. Peace out.